everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Monday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And today I'm going to be talking about my 11th year of my autism diagnosis. I can't believe where 11 years has gone. That is really crazy to me, and I want to kind of touch on how I feel being diagnosed since the age of 25, so let's get into it. So Gemma, 11 years ago at the age of 25 you were diagnosed. The last 11 years have been a roller coaster ride for me and my family, including many emotions and thoughts. I was diagnosed at the age of 25 in 2014. At first I was in denial. I didn't want to accept it. I remember being very upset and bitter with my family for a few weeks after. I didn't understand what the actual diagnosis meant. But then I started coming to terms with it with the support and encouragement of my friends, family and professionals into a positive way of learning to accept myself and the way that I was and accepting why I had to be so different. So I started slowly, after couple of years, I started campaigning for autism and inclusion for people with autism and the autistic people in Suffolk, because I want to better understand the condition and myself. So I was encouraged to go onto social media by the autism social worker with the support of my former MP Ben Gummer for Ipswich at the time, and the Adult Autism Diagnostic Service, and what I found was very limited support for autistic people and children, but none for autistic adults around my age or for autistic women. So at first I logged on to Twitter and started my own Twitter account and started following my local radio station. And then slowly and surely, one of the radio DJs called John Wright followed me and then reached out to me and said, did I want to talk to him about my autism diagnosis? Which then slowly led me to talking to him and my local newspaper to do an article about my diagnosis story of being late diagnosed. So I appeared on the radio at the same time as doing the article, and me and John became instant lifelong friends. From the first time that we met and recorded together, I immediately felt safe and knew I could trust him to tell the world about my story of autism. So that was the start of me pre-recording at BBC Radio Suffolk. Me and John now have been working together for around 7 to 8 years now, doing pre-recorded podcasts. This has been a massive way for me to improve my communication skills and to gain ultimate new friendships. Thanks to Annie Clements, also from Autism ADHD in Ipswich. She has given me many opportunities to do training with her in her own charity and talking to university lecturers, including Ali Bolgus, who was teaching the childhood and psychology course at the local university. I got to talk to her students, which led me to be able to meet at a further time Sally Ryan, who was the former Learning Disabilities and Autism Liaison Nurse for the local Ipswich Hospital. Now has been replaced since then with Roger Blake, who's now currently in that position, who I still work with. I have had the chance to talk to many professionals and clinicians over my time of the 11 years that I've been diagnosed, including many of the clinicians from Ipswich Hospital, over the years about how my autism diagnosis impacts me on a day-to-day basis and how to help professionals and autistic people better communicate who may use healthcare services. I feel very lucky and blessed that I've been able to do this over the years to better understand myself and professionals. And then I slowly got included into their Learning Disability Action Group, also known as the LDAG Group, which stands for the Learning Disability Liaison Action Group, where we meet with other healthcare professionals based within the hospital to improve services for people with learning disabilities and or autism. So over the last years, I've been able to do local community work, such as going to Suffolk County Council, Ipswich Borough Council, to talk to multi-cross-party professionals about autism and the lack of autism provision within Suffolk. This to me has been a highlight of the 11 years that I've been able to get my voice out there and talk to many professionals, such as working with the local Norfolk and Suffolk Foundation Trust Adult Autism Diagnostic Service, who diagnosed me in 2014. Ever since then, I've been able to work with them and do many talks with them across Suffolk, including Bury, Norfolk, Norwich and Ipswich, and meeting many professionals who I'm still friends with to this day. I was still able to also train local police officers who I used to train under Siobhan Hemmett, who was the mental health lead at the Suffolk Police, or Suffolk Constabulary as it's better known. Suffolk Constabulary officers, I must say, were very, very understanding for the majority of them. There's a few that I struggled with, but over the years, I've been pleased to say that I've trained over 500 nurses and doctors, over 600 frontline police officers who were newly getting into their graduating phase. And this has really helped me to, again, improve my communication skills and being able to support people who may not understand what autism is or how to include autistic people. I've then also since then been able to sit on the Suffolk County Council former autism best practice steering group, which was a group to work with multi-cross party professionals to start up a autism legislation, which I really enjoyed being part of. I was able to have my autistic voice heard and advocate for others who may not be able to do so. And I think also that I was able to talk about my life, how it impacts me, and how autistic people should be able to talk to other people and have the right supports, the right care needs, the right care plans or employment access or access to medical services or access to county council services, borough council services, to make sure that their lives are independent and inclusive as possible. And I also have been very lucky to be working with former members of parliament, e.g. Ben Gummer, the former MP for Ipswich. I cannot rate this guy enough. I know he is no longer in Ipswich, but I know Ben Gummer quite well, to quite a degree, where I had the opportunity to work alongside him doing a lot of autism campaigning. I was actually able to be part of the Ipswich Conservatives group and give a talk to them. I gave them like a 45-minute presentation many years ago now. Looking back, I was very naive because I wasn't very organised. But at that time, I was obviously getting to know myself, finding out more about my condition and how to communicate. So I was able, because of him and other people associated with him, I was able to give my voice out again to a way that I was able to self-explain myself, to help other people in my local communities who better understand me, and to get autism in the best light rather than the negative light that a lot of people in my locality see autism as. They see it as a way to be made better. They see it as a way to be fixed. They want a quick fix. They want it to be going away under the carpet. They don't want autistic people's voices to be heard. I've done work with the Department of Work and Pensions. I've gone to meetings where I've said to people, look, we don't want massive reasonable adjustments. We want little tweaks in the system that basically help us to help you, and then it's a way of having to speak and manifest what we want, because it's like, well, we're entitled to these services because of our autism. We want to be included, we want to be listened to, we want to be valued, because we deserve to be. We're the individuals that live with the condition, and a lot of the time, unfortunately, it's down to professionals tend to think they know better than us. No, you don't, because you don't live with it. You are there to support our needs. You work for us, so basically that means that you need to listen to our lived experiences to make services better, so that we don't constantly have these barriers that we're accessing all the time, because it constantly feels like we get one thing better and then it goes backwards, we backtrack, and then we hit one good thing again, and then all of a sudden it's backtracking. So it's about making sure how we can help you to help us, And also, I want to say that I am very lucky within Ipswich that I've been able to, work with very many people who understand autism for what it is, and they understand me. They understand how to best support my needs as a high functioning adult. That does irritate me somewhat, because I don't really like the diagnosis label. Yes, it's the medical label that the mental health professionals give me as the diagnosis. I appreciate and understand that, but at the same time, high functioning is such a varied spectrum statement, because I have different needs and abilities of the way that I function and communicate on a daily basis. I think a lot of people don't really understand the struggles that I've had, and it can vary from each person. Each autistic person is different. Just because I may be more verbal and functioning than some autistic people doesn't mean that some people like me don't struggle. So I have to be very careful with what I say. I've also helped set up the local adult autism social group when I first got diagnosed, with the Norfolk and Suffolk Foundation Trust and Suffolk County Council, and with Leading Lives, which is the leading social disability charity to help people with disabilities live independent, fulfilled lives, and we use their function hall, their building, to run the social group once a month at 6 to 8 p.m. for people over 18 on the autism spectrum, with their carers or without their carers, and they can bring their friends with them to support them. And we have activities. I'm really proud to be part of that because it's something that Ipswich never had before. So for that to be a really successful group where we have quite a lot of adults attend that, it's been a really successful benefit to the community. We've had many professionals come to visit it. We've had David Ellesmere there. I believe Ben Gummer come to visit it. And I believe Tom Hunt, who's the current MP for Ipswich, will be coming to visit it at some point. We've had quite a lot of people from professional places come to visit it to see what it's like for autistic people to have somewhere to socialise, to be safe, to function, to have fun, to meet other people like them, to find out more about what autism is, how it affects men, boys, women, girls who are adulthood, who are diagnosed later on in adulthood, similar to what I am. And over the years, I must say, it's been a struggle, don't get me wrong. My 11 years has not been an easy ride, it hasn't. My 11 years has been very vroom, up and down, because it's been like I've learned to accept myself, but at the same time, I've had the struggle of having to try to understand myself. I've had to adapt my communication skills. I've had to really think hard about how to best support myself. My poor parents have gone through numerous doctor's appointments with me. They've gone through numerous ways of trying to support me. And, I've learned 11 years has really changed me as a person. I've come onto YouTube, I've come onto Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. Going onto social media has been one of the most scariest things I've ever done, but I've done it because I know it's the right thing to do to help myself and other people who are going through either the assessment or pre-assessment or have been diagnosed and now are in that limbo period of going, oh, okay, so now I'm diagnosed, now what do I do? Because, it is a big jump from being diagnosed to all of a sudden it's like, congratulations, now kind of go and deal with it. It's like, oh, well, hold on a minute. So, 11 years, I've really learned to improve my communication skills. I've learned to make a lot of new friends. My, my best friend, my bestie, I can't forget to mention her because I don't want to upset her again. So, my bestie, she's been my rock, my support network. Obviously, she's been there when I've had meltdowns and stuff. She's understood my struggles, and there's been times where I've not been as brilliant communicating with her, and I do really apologise for that because I know she's not deserves my short tempers and stuff, and I try not be like that with her, but at the same time we balance each other out. And she has her own mental health issues, but I try and support her the best that I can. Obviously, my Elvis family have been an incredible strength to me and continue to be an incredible strength to me, and have been supporting me over the last 9-10 years that I've known him. Him and his wife have been a rock. Again, they've checked in on me. They've phoned me a few times. When I meet up with him and he's gigging somewhere, he's always like, oh, my Gem Gems, come here. Gem Gems, come here. And like, he gives me the most biggest hugs. And, him and his wife, the most affectionate, lovely, genuine people I've ever met. I'm so thankful and blessed he's in my life. Love him to death. Obviously, my local Freddie tribute as well. It's been another one. I couldn't be more thankful for him. My East Town Pirate friends, again, are another people that are involved in my autism journey specifically. But yeah, I wanted to reach out about that. And also, I've had opportunities recently I never ever thought that I would have in such succession. I recently got to be able to go to the Sir Bobby Robson Special School here in Ipswich, and I met Adam, the headmaster, through Tom Hunt, the MP, when I attended the Special Educational Needs Disabilities Political Round Table. That was a mouthful. And I got to talk to him about autism, my story, my experiences, what it's like for me as an adult. And I got to see the beautiful school that he manages, and got to see each different room in the school and the building layout. He talked about, like, to me, how the students are and each of the different needs they look after, not just autism, but mental health issues, emotional needs, behavioural needs, mental health needs, because each of the students there has a different diagnosis of some kind, and each student in that school is different. And I think it's kind of opened my eyes up to how much the world still doesn't understand special educational needs and disabilities. It really opened my eyes up to how it can be so challenging for teaching staff, parents, and seeing that school for myself and seeing the love, the care, the attention, all the different sensory needs were included. The fact that all the walls on the school in the school building were decorated by the students, like all the graffiti artwork, all like the drawing, and just the winter theme and everything in that school is so brilliantly laid out. Everything is calm, everything is spacious, like there's nothing that's chaotic. Like, it's wonderful. I can't wait to go back there. I absolutely fell in love with the building when I went there. I was very blessed that Adam gave me the opportunity to be part of that, and has yet invited me back again to do the parents coffee morning. I'm really mega excited to be back there. And also want to mention my local bar landlords, Jamie, Julia, Ryan and Darren as well, who are my constant supports as well. They've been there for a long time for me. They've shared my workout. And yeah, I hope you've hope you've heard liking and enjoying my story. And I shall see you in the next one. Bye guys.